recorded live from Studio 12A in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. You're listening to the Josh and Friends Podcast.
Hey-o! Thank you for tuning in to the Josh and Friends Podcast. I am your host. My name is Josh. And this week I have a very special returning guest back to the show. Last time he was on was right after the coronavirus busted out, where we discussed a number of different subjects like the future of sporting events and live concerts and those terrible online dating apps. Ugh. And this handsome fella, well, he's back. He is back, baby. He's here to discuss some fun topics. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to welcome back to the show the guy who once karate kicked me right in the face, like crane style from the Karate Kid, and somehow lived to tell about it. He's my brother, the one and only Mr. Andy Matlock. All right, Andy, welcome back to the show, buddy. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
Doing good. So what is this, your third appearance on the show?
I know. I feel like a regular.
Yeah, well, you pretty much are. I guess like you and Lee and what, Rich? I don't know.
It's like Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, right?
Like the 3-timer club.
Yeah, exactly. Or don't they have like the 5-timer club or the 6?
Yeah, I think it's a 5-timer club.
Yeah, so
I don't know. That's some stupid skit.
You're up there with like Alec Baldwin and Steve Martin and I don't know who else. Anyway, so yeah. So it's been several months since you've been on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's Washington been since you ditched me right in the middle of the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I really wouldn't know. All I did was go back and forth from, the parents' house to the military base every day. So
right.
I don't know. I didn't really go anywhere else or do anything. So
I guess I don't blame you. I mean, like I would do the same exact thing if I was in your boots. Like you got a job offer that you just could not refuse. Like yeah. So it's kind of like AC/DC said back in 1990. Money talks.
Yeah.
Money talks.
Yeah. It's good opportunity. So might as well just take it. Well, it's hard to find a job during the pandemic and
especially a good job.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I remember,
got something going,
when you told me and you're like, yeah, here's what it pays. And I'm like, well, see you later, buddy.
Yeah.
It's like, good seeing you.
Oh, let me help you pack.
Yeah. All right. You need anything? Yeah. So, But
I haven't totally given up, down here. It's just that's what's happening right now.
I hear you, dude.
That's the thing that makes the most sense right now. So I'm gonna do that for a minute and
got to go where the money is
and see what happens. See where that takes me.
Save up some money and just keep snowbirding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So your last podcast here was on April 11th.
Wow. Right before my birthday.
Yeah. And then you moved back on May 7th.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So you spent your birthday here and you're like, wow, this is a great birthday.
Yeah. All right.
Great
yeah. Well,
birthday.
yeah, I got another one coming up pretty soon. And that's going to be probably just as fun.
The big 40.
Yeah. The big 40.
So how are mom and dad doing?
Doing good. They're doing good. They're just, enjoying themselves in the retired life and
dad just still dadding around?
Dad's dadding around. Mom's momming around,
Yeah. Is dad like going to the store to pick up some cigarettes?
Yep.
Almost like,
God damn it, Lee. I swear to God, those things are going to kill you.
Yeah, I think Dad's talking about trying to quit.
Really?
I think he's
I remember the first time he said that back in 1991.
I know. It's hard. It's hard to quit, man.
Well,
but he's talking about
Dad's
it.
kind of like he's kind of like Keith Richards, where it's like he's been smoking for 60 years now.
But
he's healthy as an ox. You're like, is this guy? Oh no.
Okay. Well, doctors are saying, hey man, like,
starting to catch up with him.
Hey, lay off the cigarettes.
Oh, okay.
And, like you hear that from enough doctors, and you're like, all right, well,
maybe I should. Maybe they're onto something here.
Damn it.
Maybe it's not a good thing that Keith Richards is still alive.
Yeah, I know.
Dad's like, what about Keith Richards?
Bad example.
What about Keith Richards?
What about George Burns?
George Burns always had a cigar in his hand and lived to 100. It's like, yeah, but Dad, like that's like what? Yeah. So, how are the pets doing?
They're doing good.
You have your little dog Killian, and then your cat Death Kitty.
Yep, Death Kitty.
Is Killian named after beer?
Yep, George Killian's
Brew.
Red.
Oh, Red.
What was it? Now I'm
I
like
don't know.
forgetting all of a sudden.
So you were drinking a beer and you looked over and you're like, hey, it's Killian.
Yeah.
You were that drunk. You're like, I think, is that Killian?
No,
Is that
he had
or-
like a reddish tinge on his neck, kind of on his back, you know.
Gotcha. Okay.
So-
Did that go away?
Yeah, kind
Whoa.
of. Kind of was like a wiry kind of. It was weird. It's like I don't know, some baby wiry red hair. That doesn't make any
Interesting.
sense.
Yeah,
but
right?
Yeah, that's why we called him Killian.
Gotcha. Okay. And then when did Chopper, was Chopper 2019 that he,
We put Chopper down like around Christmas
oh, gotcha.
time,
Okay.
around that time
Yeah.
or something, or maybe it was earlier than that. Maybe it was early 2019.
I like I always talk about Killian, the blonde-haired dog or the white-haired dog.
Yeah.
Killian's like a dog.
Yes,
And Chopper was like a human.
he was a human. Yeah. Yeah, it's really sad. Yeah, Chopper,
He
he's
didn't look down at like Killian. He's like, look at that dog over
yes, he was like, what an idiot.
What
He'd
is
be
that?
sitting up in the chair with you, upright like a person.
there. Like, even the facial expressions were like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah, he could look right through you. Like, you just look right. You just, hey, buddy, and you're like, holy crap, am I looking at a person? Like, it looked like human eyes. Like,
But that is kind of the charm of Killian, because Killian is like, he's a dog. He's
yes. And yeah, that's why people get dogs normally, is because they're a dog,
Right.
they're not a human. But
you're getting dressed in your room. You're like, I'm gonna close the door because I feel that Killian is recording me with his eyes, or Chopper is recording me with his eyes.
yes.
But Killian's like, yeah, he don't care.
Yeah, Killian's like looking outside, you know. Like,
And then there's Death Kitty.
yeah.
So how did Death Kitty get the name Death Kitty?
It was a friend of my girlfriend's back in the day. She Kitty was not always a nice lethargic cat. She was like mean and like would scratch and
This
bite.
cat is so fat.
And she just was. She was just kind of a, you know.
Oh, whoa, a bitch.
Oh, I wasn't gonna go there. I mean, you said
Well,
you said it.
Well, that's a female dog, right? So like, I don't know what you call a cat. Like just a
But
cat.
She was just she was mean, and so she called her Death Kitty. And,
So what-
and that name
Was
stuck.
that before like she
we were,
started?
we were just calling her Kitty.
Okay.
And so then Death Kitty
Okay, so
became the name.
now she's like fat and chubby and like morbidly obese. Maybe this is
Yeah.
like she wasn't getting enough nutrition or getting enough food. Like, and she was like angry. And
No, she got all the nutrition she needed. She lived out in the wild. Basically, there was massive birds to hunt, and she was fine.
I remember like
Yeah.
Death Kitty seemed to stay outside, or maybe wasn't allowed inside as much. Now Death
Always
Kitty
wanted
kinda-
to go outside.
Oh yeah.
Always wanted to go outside.
Now Death Kitty's like, you know what I can go for now is just a big giant bowl of cat food and
Yep.
and a little warmth.
Yeah. Yep. She wants to be inside a lot more these days, which I don't blame her.
Remember that one time mom and dad went on vacation? They're like, Death Kitty will be fine.
Yeah.
Death
Yeah.
Kitty.
We call her Kitty. You know,
Yeah.
that's what we call her around the house. She, you know what? We had the neighbor look out for her a little bit, and you know, she figured it out. You know, she survived.
That's what's great about cats, though, is like, you know, cats are like so self-sufficient. They're
Yeah.
smarter usually than dogs. I mean, generally, there's some really smart dogs out there, but you know,
Yeah.
dogs like, where's my food? Am I just gonna die? And cat's like, looks like I need to go kill something to survive.
Yes. It's totally different. Yeah.
Oh, so that's good. I'm glad that the animals are doing okay.
Yeah.
Except for the the high cholesterol of the cat.
Yeah.
And the morbidly obese kitty. Yeah. So in honor of you ditching me for Seattle,
All right.
I thought we'd break it down. We'd break down the two states by category and
Okay.
just for shits and giggles.
Okay.
2020 is over. It's past us. It's gone. Thank goodness. How you feel about that?
I don't know.
I mean, not the 2020. You think anybody that thinks the beginning of 2021 is going to be any different? It's
Yeah.
like are you serious right now? 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, it's
I don't know.
still a pandemic.
It'll be a little better. I'm sure. It's got to be, right?
Well, let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah. So yeah, we're going to break down the two states. And just remember, Andy, there are no winners and losers here.
Okay.
It's kind of like a millennial sporting event. There's, both states get a participation trophy in the end. All right. So first one I'd like to discuss. First one on the list here. And the most obvious on the list is the weather.
Yes.
So And again, there doesn't have to be winners or losers here. It's just, this is just a discussion about, the differences between the states here. So Andy, which one has better weather?
Oh, obviously Phoenix is going to give you more sun. You're going to get more days of sun.
Right.
It
also kill you.
Are we doing the Seattle area versus
the
Phoenix
think so.
area?
We're just going to do Western Washington,
Okay. Because it's different.
It's very different.
Different here.
Because if you're doing Eastern Washington and Arizona, it's very similar.
Exactly.
It's a little cooler, but
exactly.
Yeah.
But the weather is more mild. Obviously, it's all year round there.
Right.
You're not going to get too hot. You're not going to get too cold. But here, you're just going to get hot.
And like I've said before, I personally love both.
Yeah.
I'm not a hater of Seattle by any means. In the summer in Seattle, that's hard to beat. I mean, for many, many reasons. Obviously, the sun's out and it's been raining all year, so everything's pure green.
Exactly.
And, they have like great rivers and lakes, and you have the Puget Sound. And what I always bring up too is how in Seattle, it could be like 10 o'clock at night and it's just starting to get dark.
Yeah, right.
That is awesome.
I didn't know that was different in other places.
Yeah.
You don't think about it like that.
Yeah, it's way different. Remember, like we would Zoom.
Yeah.
And Eric and Rich were like, "Why is the sun still out?"
Yeah, is this like a recording of Andy? Or?
Right? Yeah, they're like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, that is weird.
And it's pitch dark outside where everybody else is. Yeah, so that's one of the things that I always love a lot about the Seattle area.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe that's why I always, when I think back to, Washington, obviously it's, it's sunny out and it's nice and,
Yeah.
And, if you're in school, you always had like the summer off. So obviously you're always going to remember summer and everything, but also the days are like twice as long.
Yeah.
So you have that.
Yeah. I don't know.
The two places are completely different. I mean, almost exactly. Like for the time in Seattle where it's crappy is like the best time to be here.
Exactly.
Right?
No, yeah. And then vice versa.
Exactly. So in the summer up in Seattle, it's like the best time to be there.
Exactly.
And here it's like, well, time to stay indoors.
Yep. Yeah. So 6 months out of the year here, 6 months out of the year there. So there we go. No winners here, right?
Exactly.
All right. That's my answer.
Yeah. So you're a snowbird. You're like, I'm enjoying the snowbird action right now.
If I could get the boss to give me just a couple more months off.
So now we just got back from a trip to the Meteor Crater.
Oh man,
in Arizona.
That was so. I've been waiting like probably most of my adult life to go there.
It's one of those things where you look at it. Like I remember the first time I saw it was on
Starman.
Yeah, and I was like, this looks like a different planet.
Yeah, right.
And that's probably why they picked it, because it's like an outer space.
And
meteor
it's a movie. You don't even know if it's real or not.
Right, exactly. Even with the cruddy special effects from 1984. Yeah. So that thing is pretty crazy. So a couple of the stats from that place. It's 50,000 years old. The crater. The crater's 50,000 years old. And I guess the how big was the meteor around? Do you know what they said? I think they said 150 feet. It's only like 150 feet across.
Yeah, okay.
And it weighed several hundred tons.
Sure, because it's like solid iron.
And it slammed into the Arizona desert.
Yeah.
And where is that located? Is it called, like the city is called Meteor, or where is that?
Yeah, it's right outside of Winslow.
Right. And I like the signs going up to it, and
yeah,
they're like 5 miles till impact.
Yeah,
So
4 miles till impact. 3 miles. Yeah,
it's so awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But they say that the force of that meteor striking the planet was greater than 20 million tons of TNT at 26,000 miles per hour.
Whatever that is.
I know. How do you even?
Wow.
Yeah. They're like, how can you even like contemplate? Like, didn't they say that the guy that's like the tour guide dude?
Yeah.
He was all, that means that if you left from here and you went to, was it Chicago?
No, it was
it would take 5 minutes
New
or
York to LA. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
26,000 miles
That is
an hour,
crazy,
whatever
dude.
it was. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So the hole itself is 550 feet deep and 4,000 feet across. The thing is, like, it's hard to explain, like, how big that is unless you're standing right there.
Yeah. What did the guy say? 20 football games on the floor with 2 million fans.
Yeah,
watching.
20 football games can be played simultaneously and on the floor.
Yeah.
And then it has a capability of 2 million people on the sides watching it.
Yes.
Like, that's crazy.
Yes. Yeah. That'd be, that's
2 million people.
Give you a idea of like what kind of a stadium it could be.
Exactly. So that was wild. So
it was very cool.
We took some pictures there. We took some video there. It was funny because they have the lookout you go up these big stairs and you have the lookout, but then there's like a bunch of rocks that cover the main lookout.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who built this whole thing, but they could have. I mean, for the money they charge,
right? Yeah, exactly.
I feel like they could be. They could have quite the place there.
Right.
But I don't know. And I feel like next time I go, I'm going dirt roads.
Oh, you're going dirt roading?
Dude, I'm going to find a way up there. I've been looking at the maps, and I think we can get around it.
Oh, man, look at you, rebel.
They don't own that whole place, man.
Whoa.
They don't own it.
Whoa.
Come on.
You're like, that belongs to the people,
it's a
Josh.
big giant hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Like, I got 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, but isn't the Grand Canyon owned by like the tribe? Or let's say the state and the tribe.
Yeah, there's, whatever. I'm just a guy going to look at a hole in the ground. I mean, what are they going to do to me?
Yeah, I guess you're not. I guess it would be. They should actually patrol the other place that we went to even more, which is the abandoned. Like, what was that? The Arrow Inn or something like that, or the
Twin Arrows.
Twin Arrows, like
Twin Arrows Trading Center.
Yeah, Trading Post, right?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so we went to this other place that would have been like around for what 50 years or like maybe longer.
Yeah, gotta be longer.
And it's just abandoned, and they literally haven't knocked it down or anything. It just sits there.
It's just graffitied up on the side of the freeway.
Yeah, then we see this old like video, and it's like beautiful. It's all like nice, and it's like this old,
showing what it was.
Yeah, and it's prime. And then we get there, and we're like, like, I wonder how many drugs have been shot up in here. I wonder how many kids have been made on the floors of this place. Yeah, beer bottles and like it's just trashed, man.
Yeah,
and. Yeah, but that was fun walking through there.
It was made for some cool pictures. And,
right.
Just abandoned buildings.
Cool, gang graffiti all over.
Yeah.
Shit. It's pretty cool. And I like how it says, don't mess up the graffiti.
Yeah, don't mess up the artwork.
The artwork.
You're like, all right, far out, man.
Yeah, so driving there was fun.
Yeah.
Did you like the, how do you like the drivers in Arizona?
I know where you're going with this.
I mean, we weren't 500 feet from my place, and we had like the first.
Pull into the gas station, get my gas, and get the gas, and then we're driving away, and then some guy just starts walking in front of us, and I'm just like, I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm stopping. I mean, I was clearly out in front of him to where he probably should have stopped walking, but then he kept walking, so that kind of like slowed me down to where I was like, really. And then I start driving again, and then a guy pulls out or starts backing up and doesn't even stop, doesn't even look.
Oh, no. Lee and I always have this conversation. Wouldn't it be awesome, like in a way, to be that oblivious or just not care or like, you're the only person that exists in the world. And there's no consequences to not being aware of anything. You're just like, I'm coming out. So if you're not with me, then
I just... you didn't even think that somebody could be behind you. Like that's not even a possibility.
Oh God, no! In a busy gas station? No, not at all. Yeah, yeah. So no, but the drive there is actually pretty cool. Like it
is. You're just climbing up a mountain the whole time. That was crazy.
Because we drove through what's it called first?
Flagstaff first.
Flagstaff, yes, and it's crazy how high. The elevation gets.
Yeah.
Because what did it raise to? Like it was
like
up to
8,000, 7,000 feet or something. Or
it's something wild.
Yeah. I wasn't used to being that high. I mean, but
yeah, you were.
But that was crazy. I was like, yeah, how high is this thing gonna go?
Oh yeah,
we just kept climbing.
Yeah, we're like,
I didn't think.
Andy,
I didn't think it went that high up in Arizona for some reason. I don't know why, but
I'm like, Andy, can we turn on the heat? I know it's a weird request, but It's freaking
It was
cold.
cold up there.
We got out at like a grocery store, and we're walking. I'm like, oh my God, I almost slipped and fell on ice.
Jeez.
This is so cold up here.
Where are we?
Yeah, right? Yeah, so it's like, it's one of those things where, Arizona's kind of like Seattle in that it has different types of weather.
Yeah. It's not just all like a big sand pit.
And when we were driving up there, it starts out like, straight desert like you think Phoenix would be. And then you see, didn't we see like, everything was bushes at one point, or like just weird like little shrub bushes.
Yeah, just going up the different elevations and seeing the
and then you see actual trees,
and then things
canyons,
won't grow, or the cactus, the saguaros, that would just stop. You know, like you're like, whoa,
oh, there's the last one. Yeah,
I guess they're done.
There he is.
That's the last guy. He can't grow any farther. Can't go any farther up the hill.
Yeah, it's just going back to the drivers around here. I remember this. There's this one dude one time. Just shows you that kind of like the mentality of people that they just don't give a shit here. They're like, you know what? Fuck you. How about that? And we're like, oh, okay. There was a guy that was in like one of those full-size Hummers one time. Mm-hmm. And this is no joke. I'm not even making this up. He was driving in the middle of two lanes. Like the center was like his focal point to be like, well, that's the middle. So I'm driving right in the middle. And it's like, people are like, what's going on here? He's like, I'm in a Hummer. So how about you guys just, you stay back a little bit, because I'm taking over from here.
It's like when you pull into the parking lot and you see the guy that parked over both stalls,
exactly. Or sideways, or about that guy.
That's how that guy drives down the road.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I don't want any door dings.
No, yeah. So, and that guy, that's when it's nice out.
Yeah.
Like you should see, I don't know if you've driven around here a lot when it's raining or like bad weather.
No, not really.
Oh, do people lose their shit?
Oh, I'm sure.
They lose their minds when the weather is bad. Like one time, the power went out.
Yeah.
The power went out while it was like a rainstorm. And I was at this 4-way traffic light, right? And when that happens, like everyone's like, all right, well, everyone knows what to do. Like
it's a stop sign.
It's a 4-way stop sign now. So yeah, no, that's not what happened. Nope. Complete and utter chaos. Like it was like a tidal wave was coming after like a big earthquake or something like that. And everyone's like freaking out. I gotta get to the highland.
Oh my
I
God.
gotta get out of here. And like people are like blowing through the intersection. Everyone's just going. There's nobody stopping. And then other people are starting to go and like yelling and honking horns and like flashing lights. And like, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like looking around like, oh my, I can't believe how crazy people are getting.
Man.
Dude, it was nuts.
See what happens without just like some simple
it was nuts.
outliers out there.
Yeah, that's it, because it was cloudy and like stormy, and like people were like, well, I guess everybody, it's every man for himself out here. Yeah, because it's like, I guess it's so foreign. People aren't just used to it. They're like, oh, what is that? Is it the end of the world?
I know, right?
Oh my God.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So
that's kind of everywhere though too, right? Like even in Seattle where it rains all the time, people still can't figure out how to drive.
People in Seattle freak out a little bit more when it's snowing and stuff like that.
Yes, that is true.
Which is more logical to me, because in Seattle when it snows, it doesn't snow a lot there, but when it does snow, it shuts down the city because
they're
there's
not ready for it.
Well, there's hills everywhere, and you have to
and they don't have plows like
everybody doesn't have 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, they don't have like piles of salt ready to go all over the place. Like
exactly,
they have some, but it's not. They can't get to every little tiny road.
Right. There's a couple times I had to ditch my truck up a hill, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm leaving my truck here with all these crazy a-holes that don't know how to drive, and they're sliding like back and forth.
Everybody's
and like
sliding down the hill right into your truck.
Yeah. God, there's this other time. It was another time where it was like raining, but it was like early in the morning, so it's like really dark out, and I was going to work, and some crazy old lady. When I say old, she wasn't that old, but she was probably like maybe 50s and stuff like that. And I got a glimpse of her. It was like one of those roads where like the lane was ending, and I was like in the right. So I'm like, oh well, I gotta get over. So I sped up, right? So what do you think she did?
Sped up.
She sped up, right? Here's the problem with that. So not only did the road end, there was a mountain.
Oh gosh.
To my right. It was like right up on Cave Creek up here, right? So if you go up like long enough up Cave Creek, there's like literally a mountain, right?
Gotcha.
So I'm like, all right. And then I was like, well, I guess I'm just, it's either hit the mountain or ram into her. So like I tried to speed up as fast as I could, and I was like, well, and then that's when she lost her shit.
Oh no.
She like laid her in her horn for like the next like quarter mile.
Yeah.
And then she's like, fuck you fucking. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Did you want me to die in like an explosion or something? Like, what? Holy Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's nuts, dude.
People have no, like, they're just like, they'll wait for something bad to
It
happen.
was crazy.
Just so they can go.
Well, it's funny because you and Lee are really good at, like, people will do some crazy shit to you guys on the road, and you're like, oh, I guess you're coming in. I guess you're, well, there you go. Yeah, I guess.
You can't be mad, man. You just, because it doesn't
accomplish anything.
It doesn't accomplish anything. They're not going to care.
No.
They might even get happy that you're mad,
Exactly. Like Velasco.
Yeah. So all you
Velasco will chase you down with like a bat or something.
No. Yeah. Especially these days, somebody will shoot your ass.
Right.
Like,
especially in Arizona. I'm like, oh, whoa. And my hands are up in the air.
I just have to look at it like, not necessarily karma, but something like that. Like, hey, this guy, if he's making dumb decisions like this, like, he'll probably do something dumb.
Right.
And
right,
something else will happen.
Exactly.
He doesn't need me to show him that he's dumb.
I'm terribly sorry, lady. I should have crashed and burned into that building or that mountain.
Yeah. I mean, just, take it easy on people. You see them, like, I do it every single day on 167.
Right.
Where you get off 18 and you go north on 167 and the lane ends right before you get to the exit,
Yes.
right before you get to, 15th Street exit.
Yeah.
And so every single time there's somebody in that lane and they go, oh, at the last minute and put on their blinker and come over.
Yep.
I wait for it every day because I'm like right there.
Totally.
I'm like, I know it's happening.
Yeah.
And I just sit there and wait. I spaced out. People are behind me going, why isn't this guy speeding up? And I'm just like, because this guy's going to need to get over.
Exactly.
Every day it happens,
Yep.
So it's like you just got to help people out.
Exactly. I like your style. Yeah. So, Andy, what do you think about daylight savings time?
Let's get rid of it.
Yeah, that's what they've been talking about for many years now.
Yeah, I think there's like a bunch of states that like signed on to it. We just have to have like more federal thing or something like that.
Yeah, the government's definitely been kicking around that idea for many years now because wasn't it like a farming thing back in the day? That's why they had it originally. It was for farming.
Probably.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know. It just seems ridiculous. I mean, I guess they want, the most daylight productive hours possible.
When they in Arizona is kind of like the wild west. They're like, you know what? We're not having daylight savings time here. We don't recognize it.
Yeah.
So like they don't even have it here. That's one thing nice about here is I never have to worry about the time.
Yeah.
So it's always spring forward or fall back. You don't have to worry about that. So it's always the same. But then it screws you up because I don't know what the other times are in the other states.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, change it.
You always know that you're this many hours ahead, but then now it's an hour different than that.
Change it. Just change it.
Yeah, it is stupid. I lived here in the time change. I lived there in the time change.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You know what? No difference.
Yeah, except the one good thing about it living here in Arizona is football season.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I guess we can have one more drink at the bar.
One more drink because we have one more hour to sleep in before football starts at 11 a.m.
Yeah, and like it takes forever to like get used to it. You're like, oh, wait a minute. Oh,
yeah.
Pregame starts in an hour.
I'm used to waking up at like 8 a.m.
Yeah.
getting fantasy ready. 9 a.m. You turn on the pregame.
Yes.
And then 10 a.m. game start.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then here I am. It's like 7:30. I'm getting up and I'm like, oh god.
The only bad thing for me is I run that fan page, so it really messes with my head because I have to always post like the right times for everything.
Geez.
So.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah. So continuing on with the Arizona-Seattle thing, what do you think about how about sports? What city has better? What town is better for sports, Andy?
I would say Seattle, because
obviously we're big Seahawks fans. So
big Seahawks fans.
Mariners, we like the Mariners.
Like to go to Mariners games.
They also have the Sounders if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, I haven't been to a Sounders game, but I would go.
So Seattle definitely wins hands down for the fans. Like, I mean, come on. They're known for their fans, right? That's not really debatable. But Arizona also has the NBA and hockey.
They do, but
yes,
Seattle has hockey.
Oh,
so that's only one notch.
Oh, doctor, how about this?
Take a notch down.
How about this? Arizona also gets to host the Super Bowl every few years.
That's they definitely and
that's
they
an
do
insane party.
Numerous other events down here
Yes.
too, like lots of other sporting events.
Yeah, so sometimes they have the Pro Bowl, and at least once a year I get to see the Seahawks. I've been to every Seahawks game down here since I moved here, except for last year during the pandemic in 2020.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the tailgates here in Arizona?
Oh yeah, you mean compared to standing in a puddle in an alley
Next to a bum?
next to homeless dudes, and then Seahawk fans that resemble homeless dudes? Just sleeping in their campers and barbecuing and being drunk all the time. You're like, what's the difference here?
Yeah, right. Oh,
No,
God.
but I mean, I love both.
I know. It's awesome to be around obviously the fans.
Yeah, but they got that big grass field, and it's like
I remember
80 degrees out in Phoenix.
when you
can't beat just kicking it on the grass.
Oh
field.
yeah, when you and Lee came to visit that one time, you're like, we are tailgating with no shoes on, walking in grass, drinking beer, and it's like 80 degrees out here. You're like, oh my God.
Right next to the stadium. They got the parking lot around the stadium, and it's right next to, the things right next to the stadium. So
awesome. And because everybody's going to the game, I would say 40% of the people just literally put their tent down in the grass, and they just go to the game.
very trusting.
Yes.
Very trusting. More trusting than you would find downtown Seattle.
Well, you're never going to do. I mean, I have left stuff in my truck, while tailgating, and we've had stuff jacked out of our cars.
I'm sure it's
because you have to walk like a mile to the game sometimes, to have free parking or whatever, if they still even have that.
Sure.
But so yeah, there's definitely there's big events that are down here. I remember the first time I came down here, they were having the NBA Finals.
Exactly.
Or is it it's the All-Star game. The All-Star game. Yeah.
They do a bunch of college stuff down
Fiesta
here.
Bowl, right?
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Baseball's huge down here.
Right. Oh yeah, the spring training.
I mean, there's massive sports down here. So I mean, for the sports fan, I would say this is probably a better place.
Maybe
to
just
be,
in general, if
your team will come through here at some point.
Exactly.
So
exactly. No, it's definitely, especially to be a Seahawks fan down here.
Yeah.
It's one of the best places. If you are in Seattle, and you're like, where could I move and still be kind of, and it's a short bus ride to Seattle.
Sure. Southwest bus line.
Yeah. The Southwest. A couple hours. I'm in Seattle. Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it's it probably a better sport, more sports, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Going fans or going sports.
Exactly. I think that's the one right there. There's more hardcore fans definitely in Seattle than here. I mean,
yes, sir.
If you ever met a Cardinals guy, it's like, Cardinals, yeah. And I'm like, I've met a couple of those guys, but everyone in Seattle is kind of hardcore. You know? So how about the music scene between the two cities?
I don't know much of the music scene besides.
Nobody does.
Didn't Lincoln Park?
Chester Bennington.
Chester Bennington or something.
Yep. And so Seattle, definitely one of the most legendary cities for music. In the 60s, they had Jimi Hendrix, Heart from the 80s, Queensryche in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then all the grunge bands, Pearl Jam, Nirvana from the 90s and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about Kenny G.
Yeah.
Kenny G. From Seattle.
Probably one of the biggest selling guys out of Seattle.
Yeah, totally. I know that his Christmas album has insane amounts of copies.
I'll bet.
And I think he has a couple. Yeah. So I think it's actually the biggest instrumental maybe album ever. Period. But it's definitely one of the biggest Christmas albums of all time.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, but as far as venues and kind of I've seen a lot of really cool outdoor shows here. Really cool. I mean, you could only do that in the summer sometimes, in Seattle, you know what I mean? There's a short window. Here, there's a bigger window for that, you know? But Seattle area has the Gorge.
Yes.
Boom. Hour and a half or 2 hours to the Gorge.
Yes.
So,
I haven't been to many concerts out here I've been to that one park, what is it, Tempe?
Oh, Tempe Town Lake?
Tempe Town Lake?
Yeah, that's a cool place.
That park there. That was we saw Tool and Primus. That was a pretty cool concert.
Whoa, I didn't know Primus was there too.
Yeah, Primus opened up for Tool. That was so cool.
Well, got himself a big brown beaver, shows off to all our friends. He's like, that beaver eats Taco Bell. So awesome. Anyway, those Seattle bands from back in the day were always big, and they always talk about how they were forced to be inside and practice, and the weather was so bad because like, what are we gonna do?
Sure.
We're gonna go outside and like, you know, go to the lake,
makes sense.
or are we gonna go practice our guitar? You know?
Exactly.
And I've heard a lot of grunge guys say that. They're like, yeah, I mean, like we were forced to be in the basement. Like that's where we were having, bands and stuff.
The flooding basement.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's like one of those things too, where they always talk about the latitude across the world. Like you have like Seattle, New York, London. You have all these like cloudy kind of, places where, they're similar to the same latitude.
Yeah.
And think about where the most famous bands of all time have come from.
Oh,
it's certainly not, Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some big bands from
They
Florida.
say like most of the metal bands come from like the even higher ring of like Norway and Sweden.
Yeah,
and, like,
right.
all that. Yeah.
They're way into metal. Like, you're like, wow, yeah, like nobody's into more into metal than the United States. Oh yeah, hold my beer.
Yeah, right.
Have you seen some of those concerts?
Yeah, right.
They're
Those guys are
nuts.
nuts.
They are nuts. But yeah. So I mean, I guess from here you have like you said, Chester Bennington and Dierks Bentley.
Oh, yeah.
Good old Dierks, and I think Alice Cooper went to high school with Dad.
Yeah. Dad's old buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. They went to the same high school though, right?
Yeah.
Similar,
One of Dad's like
same
10
years.
high schools that he went to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Linda Ronstadt, she's like from down in like Tucson.
Yeah.
Tuscan.
Nice.
And Meat Puppets. You like the Meat Puppets?
Whoa.
Little Meat Puppet action.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What song do they do?
Blackwater? Was there a big one?
The Blackwater's rising. Something that will never change.
Yep. There you go.
Boom. Look
But
at
yeah,
me.
so Seattle wins in this department.
Winners.
So the Gorge, we were talking about the Gorge. Have you seen a lot of shows like the Gorge?
I haven't been there a whole lot.
Yeah. What
Saw-
bands have you seen there?
Tom Petty.
Oh, the famous Tom Petty.
Famous Tom Petty concert. I think I went and saw Ozfest there. So it was like Marilyn Manson.
Oh.
And
Did you see an early Ozfest?
Yes.
Yeah, because I was like, I saw one of the later Ozfests where like, it's free show. And I'm like, oh,
I can
free
barely,
show.
I can barely remember who was there.
Yeah. Oh.
Ozzy was there.
Yeah. I remember after that Tom Petty show, you were actually shocked. You're like, dude, I can't believe like how good that was. Like as far as like how many songs, like,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
dude.
It was like going to the
Greatest show.
Paul McCartney
Right.
show at Safeco.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
And just like you're like, holy crap! Like all the songs that these guys did, that you just know so many of these songs.
I remember I bought tickets for mom and dad to like go to that show. Like, we'll all go as a family. We all love who doesn't love the Beatles?
Yep.
And then like, was it mom or dad? Like they're like, yeah.
Dad didn't want to go,
Dad's like, I don't
and
think
then
so.
I think mom kind of just
"You
was
know
like,
what?
well,
Yeah, let's just stay home
she's like, mom's cool. She's like, I don't want to like rain on your guys'
what?
parade. You two guys are, young and hip, and you want to go. And we're like, no, we want to go with you, mom.
Yeah, she's like,
I'm up for whatever.
she's like Eric. Yeah. No, but I
Yeah,
remember.
we should have made her go.
Oh, dude, I remember halfway through that show, I looked at you and I go, oh man,
Yeah.
I cannot believe mom is
Right?
not here, and dad actually.
Yeah. But the Canadians.
Yeah, we
got
got to sit next to Canadians and they were
got-
buying us beers. and
We sold those Canadian guys those tickets.
they were like right next to us and they're like buying us like beers and
they were counting on it because they drove
Oh my God.
from Canada. So maybe it was meant to be
dude, that was
just
so
for those
awesome.
guys.
That was awesome. Dude, those Canadians are. I love Canadians, dude.
Yeah.
I was just having this conversation the other day, and I was like, I'm trying to think of like Canadians that I have disliked.
They're
They're awesome.
Yeah.
I love Canadians.
I mean, unless you do something to
Right.
one of them.
They'll just kick your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome, dude. All right, back to the list.
All right.
All right. So how about traffic? Who has the better traffic?
So far, I haven't run into any traffic unless it's some sort of construction thing, which is normal, I guess.
Right, they're
but-
always like fixing the roads here, and it's like,
Yeah.
what are you guys fixing?
They are literally working on the same thing. I mean, I guess around Tacoma Dome.
Yeah.
They've been working on that for like
Or
15, 20 years.
That
but,
section in 167, they've been like working on it for like 6 years or something like that. It's like, what's going on over here? Like, yeah.
I think they're finally getting done, and hopefully they'll finally get done here, but then they'll move to somewhere else.
Traffic in Phoenix is far, far better. I
Yeah.
mean, again, you could start out with a clean slate.
Yeah.
It's like they built the city from, ground up.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have
everything's flat.
Yeah, you don't have
for the most part.
the Puget Sound. You don't have Lake Washington. You don't
there's
have all these rivers.
Yeah, you're
and,
not driving around a whole lot unless it's like a empty lot
right,
of
right.
land.
I remember when I first moved here and people were like, oh God, like you'd see like these updates on Facebook, oh, traffic, oh, and I'm like, oh no, I'm about to hit that. I'm like on the same road.
Yeah.
And I'm like slowing down to like 10 to 15 miles per hour. And I'm like laughing like really hard. I'm like,
Wait, we're still moving though.
oh,
right?
you guys think this is adorable.
Yeah.
This is adorable.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then you know, LA would be even worse. Like they have like 7-car freeways and it still like just stops. It doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So crazy.
When I came through to come here, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drive through LA at night.
Oh,
And
that's a good idea.
And not get any of the afternoon or the morning traffic.
Yeah.
Just made for a long day, but I got through
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So were you here? You were here during the monsoon season, right? Were you? Oh, you were here the tail end of the first.
I still haven't
Oh
been
my
here for
God.
summer
That's
yet.
like the best thing. That's like the best time to be here is like during monsoon season. Like I remember Natalie used to always go like, "Oh my God, the monsoons!" It's like that's the one.
yeah.
Like when she moved up to Washington, she's like, "That's the one thing I miss is the monsoons."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, what's this monsoon stuff here?" Like I'd send you these videos and like it's just craziness,
Yeah.
like the wind and like all the.
No, I love it.
Yeah, it's wild.
I love like weather and
You
all
got
that
like
kind of
really
stuff.
excited when you first moved here because it was the very tail end of like somewhat of a like monsoonish kind of weather.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely different kind of weather than Seattle. Like Seattle, you get big globs of, it's just like big green, maybe some yellow on the
Yeah.
radar, but this is like just, concentrated red glob, circles coming through, and it's just a different kind of weather.
Seattle weather never depressed me. It was hard though, like when I would spend a long day at work, like if I was like, talking or getting yelled at on the phones, I would be driving back and it would be dark gray skies and it would be starting to get dark.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to stay awake and I'm like, oh God.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I slap myself and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
oh God, this is scary. Like
yeah.
that's like, and I'm not drinking. I'm like on the
No.
way home from work.
Yeah, it's also you're sitting in traffic, not moving. And
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Like, yeah.
People honking. Oh God, I gotta go. Yeah, it was wild. So, speaking of things that are completely the opposite, like Washington and Arizona, as far as the weather, Arizona has amateur bull riding.
Oh gosh.
You can actually, and we're not talking like a mechanical bull. We're talking about real life bulls.
Are they still doing that?
They still do it.
Oh my gosh.
So, for people that are not from the wild, wild west, can you think of like any other state that would like do that? Maybe Wyoming or something.
Yeah.
Places that have like
I would expect it there.
yeah. Like I remember when someone took me there and they're like, yeah, this is like, you want to go ride the bull? And I go, and they're like, what? And they're like, and I look at the sign that says amateur bull riding.
Yeah.
Sign up here or something like that. And I'm like, wait a
what?
minute. Is this for real?
Wait,
you could actually like sign up to go ride one of those bulls right in the middle of this arena thing. Like this, they have this outdoor, like essentially like a.
This is a bar. This is a bar with a whole thing in it. Like it's
Yeah.
got like a stadium,
Right.
seating, and
Yeah.
and the whole bull riding pin.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's
And
called.
right in back of it, like backed up and ready to go, ambulance. No joke. Swear to God. There's an ambulance ready. They're like, oh, we know something bad's going to happen.
Oh my gosh.
We're just waiting for it. So,
And people sign waivers for this.
oh yeah. Oh yeah, especially drunk. And they let them do it drunk.
They're like,
They're in a bar.
I got this.
Yeah. Who doesn't think that? That's like, listen, you think it's bad to have a one of those punching bag things in a bar? We always used to make fun of those. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
is that a good thing? Good idea to put in a bar? Oh, how about a live bull that can kill you?
Yeah. The punching bag thing is like an asshole finder.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, look at those assholes in the corner. Yeah. Those jerk offs.
Yeah, I've been that guy before.
Don't go near Andy. Unless you're driving, because then he'll be like nice and sweet to you. How about food?
Ooh.
Who wins in the food department? Arizona or Washington? Seattle or Phoenix?
I bet you maybe some people that live like downtown Seattle might say something different. But,
Right.
But I'm going to say Phoenix because where I live in the, just the south of Seattle area, I don't know.
Well,
Just
again-
kind of depressing. Maybe the only thing we got is teriyaki.
Well, yeah, I was going to say teriyaki, Thai, fresh seafood, Seattle wins in that department. But I Phoenix, as far as, the Mexican food department. And I've also had some really good pizza here.
Yeah.
I know that, wasn't it that Oprah used to have pizza flown in from Chicago from her favorite pizza place.
Is that place?
It's
by that
it's
club?
Pizzeria Bianco, I think it is. Is that the one? I think it's
okay.
that one. And she used to literally have it flown. That's like fuck you money. Like, you know what? What do you guys feel like tonight?
It's like you flying in taco time or something.
Right. Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, taco time.
Wonder how much that costs.
Yeah, that doesn't exist here in Phoenix. Maybe I'm going towards Seattle now again.
No, still not worth it.
Yeah, there's some really like good places in both cities. I mean, they're big cities, so it's like, and pretty much like anything can be eaten anywhere now. Like
exactly, chain restaurants are everywhere. They dominate.
But. Does Seattle have an In-N-Out yet?
No, but Oregon does.
But Seattle does have Dick's.
Southern Oregon, I think.
Seattle's Dick's.
Seattle does have Dick's.
Seattle's Dick's, and right up the hill from Mom and Dad have some Dick's now too, huh?
Yep, right up on
Boom.
Kent Des Moines Road or something like that, or somewhere up there.
Boom. Andy, who has the better national parks and natural physical landscapes and monuments?
I'm gonna have to say Washington on that one.
Yes, well, Washington has Mount Rainier.
Yes.
They have Mount St. Helens. They have Cascade Mountains, Puget Sound.
Yep.
Pacific Ocean. They have all the rivers and lakes and all the...
They have the rainforest.
Rainforest. Arizona has the Grand Canyon.
Yep. Big hole.
Sedona.
Yep.
Most of their water is imported, I think, in this town. But
I think everywhere right here.
there's not much water going on here unless they, But, there's some lakes and rivers here, but not like Seattle. I mean, Seattle's just, it really can't be beat,
Yeah,
right?
it's a water world.
Yeah, it's just water everywhere.
Yeah.
Mountains.
Yeah, exactly.
Snow.
Yeah, I mean, like when this trip that we went on to go to the crater and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this place has got awesome country and it is cool. Like, and even like the places where it's just desolate, it is neat,
I mean, that crater, I said it before. It really was like, I mean, didn't they say the astronauts like trained there?
Yeah.
Because what was the reasoning?
Because like they were going on the moon because
they're
with other craters.
They're
and stuff,
astronauts, but they're not meteorologists or geologists. Sorry,
yeah.
geologists. Yeah.
It makes sense though.
Yeah, right. It does. Right? Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah. So I mean, that's interesting because and then they have like astronaut stuff there at the crater too.
Yeah, they have like little stuff like.
And it really is looking at it like it looks like you're on the moon or something.
It really does. It looks like a moon type feature.
Yeah.
Even when you're driving up to it and just seeing like the uplift of the ground around
it's wild.
It's just a trip.
It is cool. That was a cool place. I was excited to go there.
Yeah,
so
it's super cool.
How about bugs, insects, and critters?
Well, I really don't, except for mosquitoes, mind any bugs or critters too much in the Seattle.
Spiders, slugs, worms,
spiders,
other insects. Like I saw so many of those in Washington, especially at that last house I lived in, where it's like out in the middle of the woods.
Yes, it depends where you live.
Yeah, right.
Just like here, right?
Exactly. So
it all depends.
Right.
This place can be riddled with scorpions.
Wasn't it Marty and Malia? They're like, there's scorpions all over the place.
Yeah, man, there could be snakes.
Because they were like in the deep desert, like out there.
Yeah, man. Just look under a rocker. I mean, they're probably.
This place is you got to be careful for scorpions and rattlesnakes and the bushes and trees. They're like, remember I was telling you this? They're violent.
Yeah.
I remember I moved in with Chuck.
Vegetation.
I moved in with Chuck and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back and weed. There's like weeds and stuff. There's like overgrowth of all this stuff. And I went back and I reached my hand down to grab this like branch out, like to pull it out.
Yeah.
Literally sliced my hand like in like 6 spots. And I'm like, oh my God. And I told this guy that I was working with, and he goes, yeah, the stuff around here, the vegetation, the trees, the branches, the shrubs and everything, it's real pretty, but you don't want to touch it, dude. Do not touch anything here.
know.
It will hurt you.
Yeah, everything is savage out here. It's like, it grew from sand and a couple drops of water. Right.
They have to survive.
It's hard,
Yeah.
It grew up a rough life.
The stuff around here can like survive nuclear explosions.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah. So, do you remember that one time when we saw a boar just roaming the streets.
Wasn't it a?
It was like a javelina.
Javelina?
Yeah. So it was like a javelina, like, and it was like, oh, cute, a little pig. And like, remember
You were like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I go, is that those you were talking about? It.
Hey, javelina.
You're talking about showing me one of those or whatever.
And then, do you remember what happened?
Yes. And then there was a small child and an adult.
Yes.
And the small child was like basically jabbing a stick at this thing, and it was freaking out. It was scared, and it was like felt like it was in a corner.
Yes.
And I'm like,
oh my god, we're gonna witness a fucking thrashing here.
This kid's gonna lose an arm. I thought he was gonna die.
Dude, isn't that? Because we were at like a stop sign. I'm like, we better get out of here before we witness a death.
Didn't we say so? Hey.
I don't know if we did.
I feel like
I think maybe the parents started finally like saying something, but it looked like they were encouraging the kid to like play with the little pig.
I can't remember if we said
those
something.
things are savage, dude. They will tear shit up.
Oh, jeez.
Like I'm setting you again.
Yeah, what kind of a person just lets their kid play with a wild animal?
Oh
like
God,
that?
dude.
It wasn't like it was a pet.
I know. It's like it's just look at this. Somebody wants to let their pet pig out. Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah, this is not that movie Doc Hollywood where he's just walking around town with a pet pig. No.
Yeah,
this thing will. It's a wild animal.
Yeah.
It'll screw your shit up.
I mean, I don't know anything about javelina, but I know a little something about wild animals.
You're right. Oh, how about moving on? How about schools and education?
I don't.
Well, I'll tell you what. I do know.
Okay.
Because this one isn't even a contest. This one is not a close one. This is not a close one at all.
Oh.
Okay. No, yeah. So Phoenix, I've always had this conversation with people after learning about this area. And, I have teacher friends that work here. Lots of teacher friends. Phoenix does not like kids. They don't like kids.
Wow.
Phoenix, they love old people and drinking age adults. That's who they like.
That's probably definitely who they cater to.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've said it for years. They don't value their teachers and schools here.
Well,
they have one of the lowest ranked.
That costs money.
They have one of the lowest ranked places in the country for teacher salary and education.
Ouch.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. Who wants to come here then?
Well, not teachers.
To teach. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it's funny because Washington has some of the highest paid teachers in the country. It's very,
really?
It's expensive, but
yeah.
But yeah, like I've told you about Ryan.
Yeah.
Buddy Ryan makes good money, man, working up there. And he always goes, Ryan's not like a lot of teachers, but he's like, and I work literally half the year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, prorate that shit.
He's the opposite where people are like, I have to work.
I work 15 hours a day. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. No, but yeah, this place is for people that are looking to retire or, kids are looking to party in downtown Old Town. And, it's definitely a party place. If you're definitely in a party mode, which is, maybe we might be a little bit past our, crazy partying days. But, once in a great while, it's fun to go down and go down, have some beers and yeah. Okay. All right. So that goes right into my next one. Strangers. Do you know where I'm going with that?
I think so.
So people in general, are they nicer in Phoenix or are they nicer in Seattle?
Are they
just in general? Like if you're,
I was gonna say, are they in their cars? Or are they out of it? People definitely seem more approachable, and they approach you more often than
it's
in
really
Seattle
weird.
For some reason.
It took a long time for me to understand or even figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, look at that really hot chick over there. I'm like, oh, and then you turn around and then she's like tapping me on the shoulder. Hi, how you doing? I'm like, whoa, what is going on here? What did I piss off your boyfriend or something?
Oh
or what?
gosh.
Like what?
Oh jeez. Just immediately look around.
Right. I'm like, oh God, what's going on? Am I about to get jumped by somebody or what's going on here? No, but that's like, I think I've said this before on this podcast where people normally they're not from here.
Yeah.
Like I would
Sure.
say, that I'd say about 20% of the people I've met are actually born and raised in Phoenix. Everybody else is from Chicago and Seattle or, Wisconsin and stuff like that. So like everybody's like wanting to kind of, it's that kind of like that vacation mentality where you're on vacation. So you're like, oh my God, I just want to talk to everybody and like be everybody's friend. And like, I'm only here for a certain amount of time. Some people are like Rich Falls, who's like, no, I'm just here temporarily. I'll be back to Chicago any day now. Absolutely.
I love the snow.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Okay. That's why they don't want to give me a promotion. They know I'm taking off in a couple of months.
Oh.
No.
Too soon. Too soon.
Too soon. He ditched us. No. But anyway, no. So, but that's what I mean. As far as like, people have that mentality where if you're somewhere where you are not from, you want to reach out and be friends with people.
Sure. Reach out and touch somebody.
Back when you could, see people talk and not without their masks.
Yeah.
No. Just,
In this hypothetical world you're talking about.
yeah. What is this weird, strange world that you're talking about?
Right.
It's called 2021. It's a great time to be alive. All right. Yeah. So, how about this one might go like along with some of the other ones that we were talking about. How about some of the history and culture and tourism between Phoenix and Seattle? Who wins in that department?
What do you
Oh, okay.
What do you mean by culture?
I feel like this is like a Jeopardy question or something.
I was like, and somebody else is going to chime in on this one.
Yeah, so, no, okay, all right. So I think that, again, I think this goes to Seattle. Like, if you're looking up, like, places to visit or something like that, there's...
As far as, like, tourism
yeah,
and...
you know what I mean? Like, you have the Space Needle.
Yeah.
You have, Pike Place Market and like the Gum Wall. Don't forget about the Gum Wall, Andy.
Yep.
The Gum Wall.
Yep.
I like how that's become a thing like the last 10 years. Like,
Yeah.
did you go see the Gum Wall? I'm like, yeah, I mean, like, what do you want me to do? Like, I chewed and put a piece and added to the disgusting Gum Wall.
Yeah, I know.
And one of my favorite places on, the list of places to visit in Seattle, which I went right before I moved.
Yeah.
It was the tour of the biggest facility in the world.
Oh, the Everett plant?
The biggest indoor facility in the entire world is in Everett at the Boeing plant.
Yeah, it's like
And the Boeing factory in Everett, Washington, where they build all the, the planes.
Yeah.
So I remember Lee's fiance, Jewel, she was actually doing one of the tours and I was like, oh my gosh, she's like a tour. This is really cool. And she's like, super good.
Yeah.
And she's like giving us the tour and she goes, this building is so big that it actually creates its own weather system inside and clouds form and it rains inside sometimes.
So like, dude, that's why we built the roof.
Yes. It rains inside.
Damn it, Seattle. It's like...
I couldn't believe how big this place was, dude. It was so ridiculous.
That is insane.
It was so big. Yeah, so that's like...
Yeah, I've never done that. I never did the tour up there. I've driven by that place, and I can imagine it's a monstrous building.
Oh, it's so big. I mean, like, I guess, Arizona's more kind of like Tombstone and Sedona, stuff like
Sure.
that, I guess, more like way old... what's it called? The old Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Wild West.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. But yeah, like for more touristy stuff,
Yeah.
there's
yeah,
just
maybe,
tons of stuff in
maybe
Seattle.
there's some other stuff that we're not thinking of in Arizona, but yeah, I think for the most part.
Well, Arizona has like I work downtown.
Yeah.
Well, I did before, the pandemic. And it's okay. It's actually really like working downtown. It's like really nice. It's kind of cool. It's like, whoa, it's like, this is like, I feel like I'm somewhat of a city.
Yeah.
Phoenix is not really like the greatest, like downtown. It's not like a New York City or anything like that. But yeah, so it's a strange, like even compared to Seattle's like huge, the city area compared to Phoenix. But yeah, it doesn't compare. Like, it's just different.
Yeah, it's different.
But some of the events that they have in Phoenix, if you're going to come visit.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if we're talking events.
Yeah, kind of like the sports stuff that we were talking about.
Like Barrett Jackson, the big car show, or the Phoenix Open.
Yeah, Phoenix
One
Open.
of the biggest events in the entire world. And then all the spring trainings and the...
NASCAR.
Yep, NASCAR.
They don't got that in Seattle,
Yep.
so don't got that.
Yeah, don't got that. What about yeah? And then there's lots of I remember when I first moved down here too. They had all these. Like every week there'd be like there's a beer fest going on. I'm like, how many beer fests are there?
Those are definitely ramping up all over the place.
Yes, I'm like, what is going on?
With
like,
these small breweries and stuff, everybody's doing a thing.
It's like,
man.
what is with all this? Yeah. So, and they have Country Thunder, which is a huge event out here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I've never been to it. I've heard that like you must have to have like a motorhome to like even enjoy yourself out there. I guess
$300 ticket for 3 days.
Right. Yeah. So,
Gotcha.
And they have those crazy pool parties, like just stuff that.
Sure.
That Seattle has the Seafair.
Yep.
Big time Seafair. But Seafair is like, you know what I think about Seafair when I think about Seafair?
What?
Traffic.
Yeah, me too.
It's like, how do I get down there?
It's the worst part of it's the worst place to like jam a bunch of people.
This would be great if I know a rich friend who lives there and I could stay there for a couple of days and then like, party. But if not, this ain't the 70s. Like, I'm not going down there to like, just hop on a tube and like, we'll just hop back on the freeway and get home. No, you're going to be sitting in traffic for a long time.
Cameron lived in a house right in Seward Park. And I remember I drove to his house and parked. Oh. And I remember getting out of my car and a freaking jet went over my head and it scared the shit out of me, dude. It was like
Blue Angel?
Yes.
Whoa.
I was like, whoa.
Because they come out of nowhere too.
Yeah. You didn't even hear it coming, man.
Just think of this like World War II. You're like,
oh gosh. Yeah. And then we walked there and I was like, this is how you do Seafair.
Yes.
But other than that, it sucks.
Right. Seattle also has bumper shoot.
Yep.
Bumper shoot, same kind of deal there where it's less.
All these things used to be cool.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure that goes for a lot lot of events.
Didn't Bumbershoot used to be free? It's like this it's like this giant music festival in Seattle, and it's downtown, like right at isn't it like
Pacific Science Center?
Yeah. So
or the Seattle Center, I guess.
I remember. Were we with you for the '97 one? I think it was. Because I know that Max was there, and you're like, I think I might have been there.
Is that what year it was?
Yeah.
Beck, right?
Yes, I will never forget the Beck story. Yep.
I definitely remember going to Beck.
Like he's doing like a solo with him, just him and the light shining on him, and he's just on a stool playing his guitar. Someone throws their boot up and it hits him, and he goes, "Hey man, who threw that?" He's like, "Keep your shoes, man. Those are for walking." And I was like, God, he's so weird. It's so great. And then like and everyone's like starts clapping, and you're like, yeah. And then someone throws another boot, and it hits him so hard that it goes. And like almost knocks him off the. And I'm like, you motherfuckers!
I don't even remember this.
Yeah, well, I mean, of us.
That's what I got you for.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I don't think I was trying to think if was I drinking at that? I don't think I was drinking at that point.
Nah,
I wasn't doing any, no drugs, no drink. No. You're like, that sounds like a blast.
Just
John.
remembering stuff.
Have you ever been to the Fremont Parade? The one where they ride their bikes naked and stuff?
Parade? No. I've been to the Fremont Oktoberfest.
How about Hempfest?
Yes.
That's a big deal. Like
I have been to Hempfest.
Yeah. And they used to have that. People were like, well, yeah, weed's legal. And I'm like, no, that went on for decades. Like before, like, wasn't that was like 20 years before like we got popular?
Yeah.
That's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, they've been trying to normalize that for a long time.
And they would have like special celebrity guests, like what's the name from
Woody
Cheers?
Harrelson.
Yeah. like my timely reference of Cheers. He's been a movie star for like 25 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. The Pride Parade.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't really go to the Pride Parade, but we went to a bar next to it.
We were kind of in the Pride Parade.
I'm like, oh, what's going on? Why is there so much rainbow stuff in the air? Like, I don't know. Let's go get a beer.
Yeah, even the promo shirts that they were giving out had rainbows on them at the bar. Yes. So I was like, yeah, this is definitely Pride. By the way, we're on.
By the way, one of the most fun times I've had, like in a long time.
Yeah, dude.
It was hilarious.
People were shit-faced.
Dude, it was like 4:00 in the afternoon.
4:00 on a Sunday.
I was like, they're doing karaoke, and I'm like, who does karaoke at like 4 in the afternoon?
I was like, wow, this is what it looks like at 2 a.m.
Exactly.
It's seriously.
Dude, it was so awesome. Fun. I was like, this is hilarious, dude. Yeah. This is great. Yeah.
Good times. Let's just say we were popular in there.
Didn't you say You told a story the other day where like you were walking to the bathroom and some guy like he put his hand like he grazed it.
He was walking the other direction and he reached out and touched my stomach and like brushed his hand by my stomach and I was like, what the? I was like, all right, geez.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Far out, dude.
You're like, is this a thing? Or you're like,
No.
oh, I'm sure it is a thing, but we'll have to ask Daniel.
Good times.
And then they have Leavenworth.
Yeah.
Have you been to Leavenworth?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I've driven through Leavenworth a bunch of times, but I've never actually
Really?
stopped in Leavenworth because it's like a famous town for
Yeah, it's a cool little
for the
place,
Seattle
man.
area.
Yeah. No, I worked there. I was we stayed in a hotel and worked up in a
wow.
place a little outside of Leavenworth with Seth for a week or so.
It almost looks like you're in a different country up there,
yeah,
right? And don't
yeah.
they kind of model it like that, right?
Yeah, like it's like
you're
a
like in Germany or something.
Bavarian
yeah,
town.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
No, it is cool.
Yeah, you look up these videos of that place, and it's just nuts.
Oh yeah, like during Christmas, it's amazing.
Yes. And then Washington has one of the biggest state fairs in the entire world.
Really?
I didn't know that, but apparently it's a thing. So yeah, the Puyallup Fair, which is known as now the Washington State Fair. That's lame. That's lame. You know, did they change it because nobody could say Puyallup?
Exactly.
That's ridiculous. That is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's part of the cool thing about being in Seattle. Like no one can pronounce half the names.
And maybe it's what you're saying. It's the biggest fair, so
Right.
call it the whole, name it the whole state.
I
So
once heard.
I kind of get it.
I think it's like the biggest state fair west of the Mississippi. I've been to the Arizona State Fair. Holy moly. You want a reality check about how good the biggest fair is opposed to like the little stepchild of the other fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, go to the Arizona State Fair.
Oh.
Reality check. Yeah. So when I was mentioning when I was talking about the downtown of Phoenix, it's getting better.
Yeah.
But the city itself isn't great. Most of the touristy stuff you do like elsewhere.
Sure.
Like, they always like do the hiking up and what's that mountain they always do the hiking at?
Camelback.
Camelback, and that's like the small little mountain, but everybody goes there, right?
Yeah.
And then there's tons of places that they have hiking around, and all these like people like get stuck up there in the summer. They're like, hey, look, people, can you not hike in the summer? And there's always like people getting airlifted out of there and shit.
Yeah, they're like, oh my gosh, it's a lot hotter and a lot drier up here than I thought.
Did you see that one video of, I think it was like an old guy or something like that, or I think old lady, someone old.
Yeah.
But anyway, they went hiking, in July or something like that, and then they got airlifted out. But then the thing started spinning.
Oh no.
Because they were in like one of those bed things, and then the thing started spinning, and it started spinning so much, and I'm like, I would have just died. Like,
yeah, it looked like the person died in there. Like that was so scary.
I'm like, how do you even live?
I couldn't imagine. Like,
how do you
being
even
in
live after
thing.
that? It's just spinning.
I think they sued and won.
Oh, are you serious?
I think so.
No, that is bull.
It's obviously just a mistake. Like they didn't want to spin you 1,000 miles an hour. Like,
It's so gross.
oh geez.
Arizona does have Tombstone and Jerome. We mentioned Tombstone earlier, but Jerome is a cool place.
Yeah, it is.
Does what's the name still have his a brewery or a winery up there?
Maynard.
Yeah.
Maynard from
I think
Tool.
it does.
I think it's. I'm sure it's still up there. But
Yeah.
it like opened up some more in Scottsdale, so you don't have to drive to.
Gotcha. Right. Well, you know what?
It's like way at the top of a mountain somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what another awesome city is?
What?
Winslow, Arizona.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Dude, I remember when we went there, I was like, I'm actually sad. And this town is making me upset and sad.
No,
Like,
buddy, no.
I mean, until you get to the intersection.
I saw a vibrant young community.
Yeah. Oh, God. In 1971.
Or older.
Yeah. Man, that place.
That place was probably a lot cooler when
the song was written?
Route 66 was still the main freeway through there.
Or when Take It Easy came out in 1972?
Yeah,
maybe it was better? Maybe?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
We're talking the 60s here?
Yeah, maybe even 50s?
50s? Yeah. Yeah, it could be.
Because that's a pretty run down town, and it's just some old buildings, and nothing looked fixed up or. But
yeah,
you could stand on a corner in Winslow, Arizona.
Oh yes,
and that's.
I remember like when we were driving there, I was like, I wonder if they have like that song just playing on a loop the entire time. And we get out, and they were playing the Eagles.
Yep.
It's not necessarily they weren't playing that song like the entire time, but they were playing like Eagles songs like on a loop, and I was like, that is hilarious.
I think the people around that actually live and work in that area were like, hey, can we at least just play the Eagles?
Look, there's nothing else going on in that town. They have to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, even the bar across the street's like, we're Winslow, Arizona. We're the stand in the corner too. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay,
yeah, all right.
Come on and have a beer.
And then on the other corner, there's a guitar plays like
right, yeah. It's like that little section, that little four corner section.
This is what we got.
That's it.
This is what we got.
That's it.
Hey, you want to buy something from our store?
Yeah, we'll charge you twice as much for a piece of junk that you're just gonna throw in a box and you'll never see it again.
Yeah.
So
no, I like the Meteor better.
Oh, you like the Meteor?
Yeah, I like the Meteor better than. I like the hole in the ground better than Winslow.
Yeah. A literal hole in the ground is better than a city that they built up.
Town. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I agree fully, 100%. Yeah, totally. Andy, which place do you feel more safe? Arizona or Seattle? Do you know where I'm going with this one?
I feel pretty much safe wherever I go.
I do too.
For the most part. I mean,
well, I guess it all depends on where you are. Like, really, I mean, if you're in the slums of Seattle or Phoenix, of course, there's going to be.
I'm usually not going to many places. Like, just walk. I don't know.
But there's something, Andy. Each night here in Arizona, we experience the 4th of July every night.
Yeah, people like to celebrate out here.
Yeah, I don't know what they're celebrating.
Whether it's gunshots, cars backfiring, or just regular old fireworks.
Yeah, or drag racing.
So you got to kind of differentiate between all three of those.
You're like, wait, was that one a gunfire shot or was that a firework? You're like, oh, that was definitely gunfire.
And living in Auburn, it's basically the same three. You have backfiring, guns, and fireworks.
There you go. There you go.
So I mean, it's tough to judge by the sound. I have had my window bashed out right in front of my house to steal a $80 Bluetooth speaker, and that's it, and nothing else. It didn't damage the car at all, besides the window.
Yo, man, he has a speaker back here. Does it work? I have no idea. Let's break the car and see it.
Just break my glass. Like, so I haven't had any problems here, so I guess I feel safer here.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I lived in Federal Way.
Yeah.
And I had my car broken into with all my friends. Broken into several times.
And you know what the new thing is in whole Washington, Western Washington area? Catalytic converters.
What the? Weird.
They're
really?
stealing those, and it just like disables your whole vehicle.
Weird.
And so you're just like, you're screwed, and it costs you thousands of dollars, and they get probably hundreds or maybe $1,000.
Wow. I know that Seattle has some of the most serial killers in the country.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
How
do you feel about that?
I heard that on the news. Some guy talking about there was a bunch of serial, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, seriously?
You're like, I don't know about any of these guys. Well, yeah, you don't know about them because they're serial killers.
But what do you think you hear? Like, yeah, there's this serial killer we're tracking. There's this serial killer. You know, like back in the day when they're like, hey, there's a guy on the loose. You know, like they just don't tell you now. Or?
Right. Yeah. So there's that. And then, there's one thing that Arizona definitely beats Seattle in.
What's that?
Alcohol prices.
Ooh, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And consumption probably.
Right?
Jeez.
Definitely we don't beat Wisconsin, but we do probably beat Seattle.
What?
Drinking.
What?
Just drinking.
Oh, yeah.
Alcohol consumption. Yeah. So like the price of alcohol here, it's got to be, I mean, at least a third cheaper. I mean, it's significantly cheaper.
Yeah.
Because they, double and triple tax it in Seattle and shit.
Exactly.
So it's
like a fifth of like Crown, I think comes out to about $30 in Washington. And I think you can buy it here for 20.
Wow. Yeah, that's wild, man.
Like, really?
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. I'm stocking up before I go home.
All right. And then last, but certainly not least, Andy. Mm-hmm. And I know this because I talk to you. I know this.
Uh-oh. Which
city has the best local news? And we could break this down. Too.
It's yeah.
Look, I mean, the main anchors and overall reporting.
Yeah. I was
it's
like,
better.
What do you mean by best?
Yeah. As far as research and actual preparation,
the production, and the actual recording, the cameramen.
Yeah, it's better in Seattle.
Yeah, the whole thing is better in Seattle.
But
the
female reporters,
the ladies are nice to look at down. No,
they look like bikini models.
Some of them do. Yeah, some of them do. Some of them look pretty hot. You're like, whoa, is this the weather girl?
That was like one of the first things that I noticed, like when I moved down here. It was like that the female anchors, like you said, she looks like an actress.
Yeah,
like, what is she doing? Like, what is this? I don't know. Maybe she auditioned in LA, and then she's like, well. Yeah. I guess I'll just be a professional reader.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like these guys they're like, they watch Fox News and they're like, look at all the ratings they're getting.
Right.
And they're like, hey, maybe they're onto something.
Right. Like you talk about the ABC, like it doesn't matter if they're guys or girls.
Yeah,
like they look like
that
models.
nightly news show or whatever. Oh my gosh. You're like, they're like, what? What are they? Even the guys. Yeah. Even the guys are hot. You're like, holy crap.
You had
male models.
You had like the guy that is the main guy. Who's the main guy? And he was out.
David Muir.
Yeah, Muir. And you're like, oh, he's out tonight, and I'm filling in. It's like, who is this guy? It's another male model.
It's another guy, like perfect hair, like he's got a tuxedo on. You're like, what am I watching?
Yeah. So, but you know who I like as far as the local guys here?
Yeah.
I really like the older male anchor with the hair from 2001. We're like, yes, it's like frosted tips. And I'm like, what is going on here? Does nobody else like say anything to this guy? Or like, this is great.
Dude, that guy, he seems to be the senior guy around here too. Like,
he is.
Yeah, that's why nobody says anything.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He's like, look, I've been doing the same thing for 20 years.
Do you know how many female models I've gone through with your same ability? You are nothing here. We'll just get another one of you. There's 10 million of you that are out there waiting in this spot just to get this same job. It's like, I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. It's just like you making a recommendation. Yeah. No, but I do like the dude that looks like Ron Burgundy. Isn't he on the NBC one here?
Yeah.
I think it's.
Oh yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think he is on.
They actually did a skit one time. He's like as like Ron Burgundy. Like
really?
No way. Yeah, that guy's awesome.
That is awesome.
What about your girl Caribe?
Oh, Caribe.
Yeah.
Caribe is probably, she's the best.
Yeah.
She's the best.
I remember Jordan liking that one too. He's like, how about Caribe? sounds like an old Beach Boys song. Aruba, Caribe, anyway. Oh, wait. Last but not least, the girl I picked up on Bumble a couple of years ago, Christy Siefkin.
How'd that work out?
Not well. Not well.
Oh, buddy.
Well. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Well, thank you again for doing the show.
All right.
Let's hope that 2021 is better than 2020. Can't get much worse, right?
It's got to be, right? I mean, like I said, it's got to be. I don't know what else.
I'm not sure when I'll get to see you again. Maybe for your birthday? Maybe. No?
Maybe.
It's wishful thinking on my part, though. I mean, like. It was supposed to be your big trip to Vegas this year, but you know what? I feel bad though. Like, I still think it's crazy that you've never been to Vegas to party up in Vegas. I mean, you've driven through there, but like, it would be weird to go to Vegas for your first time during the pandemic or anything even remotely close to being the pandemic.
I know. I was like thinking about, could we just like?
It just needs to be postponed. We can't. Even if they're like, it's back open, Vegas. I'm like, Vegas is not back. Like it's not back, and it's not the same.
Just because they want to make money doesn't mean this is a time to go.
Listen, we'll save our seats for the degenerate gamblers that want to sit there and just give Vegas their paychecks. You know, we're not there yet. Okay, so we'll have to wait and.
How about we just download some slot games on our phones and we'll just get trashed.
Oh yeah, just the same. Yeah, maybe we'll do that.
And we'll just put our money in a trash can and put some lighter fluid on it and set it on fire.
Yes, that's just as good. Yeah, and I'll hang up some Christmas lights. We'll call it Vegas. Exactly. So yeah, we need to wait. We need to postpone it. And then we can then we can reenact The Hangover.
All right.
And I'll slip in some pills and we'll wake up and like, where's my tooth? Oh God.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right, well, tell Mom, Dad, Killian, and Death Kitty that I said hi.
All right.
Have a safe trip back, and we'll talk to you again, man.
All right, buddy.
All right, later. Thank you for tuning in to the Josh and Friends podcast. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, feel free to leave a message in the comment section below. If you enjoy listening to the podcast, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow the show. And check out some of the video clips posted on YouTube and Facebook. I'm Josh, and thank you for being a friend.